guys, this is Kathy Schneider from the Champaign County Forest Preserve District, and I'm here at Lake of the Woods in Mahomet in the Botanical Gardens. Now today we are going to look at the 3 ecosystems you can find right here, and we'll talk about the different factors that make them up and the interactions between those factors. There are many components that make up an ecosystem. We categorize them into 2 different groups, abiotic factors and biotic factors. Now, what are abiotic factors? Those are the non-living parts of an ecosystem. So think of things like soil, water, even sunlight and air. Those are all things that don't reproduce or grow and are part of the ecosystem. So what are the biotic factors? That's right, that's the living half of the ecosystem. That's things like trees and plants and animals. It can even be bacteria. So those living parts of an ecosystem, they interact all the time, and we can separate those interactions into 5 different types. We look at if the organism gets a benefit effect, a neutral effect, or a negative effect, and that lets us know what type.
Predation, or predator-prey, is a positive-negative interaction. One animal gets food, while the other becomes food. Parasitism is a similar positive-negative interaction. One organism, the parasite, which is usually small, benefits, and the other, the host, is harmed but usually doesn't die. Competition is an interaction when 2 species are competing for the same limited resource. It can be positive-negative, where one gets the resource and the other doesn't, or it can be negative-negative, where neither gets enough of the resource. Mutualism is a positive-positive interaction where both species receive an advantage. Pollination is a great example where the plant and the animal both benefit. Commensalism is a positive-neutral relationship between 2 organisms where one benefits and the other is neither harmed nor helped, like a frog hiding in the algae.
Welcome to our beautiful pond here in the Botanical Gardens. It was recently renovated to give it a better habitat for the animals that live here. In this next video, I want you to look closely and try and name 3 abiotic factors and 3 biotic factors. Also look and think of any animal interactions that would happen here at the pond.
Pond abiotic factors, there's a lot of water, rocks all around, and you can even see the air causing ripples on the pond surface. Biotic factors, I see fish, water plants and algae, and the frogs. For interactions, I can think of predation between the fish and the tadpoles, commensalism, where the frog is hiding in the water plants, and competition. All those plants need to find soil in the rocks.
So now we're going to explore forest ecosystem. This is our oak hickory deciduous forest. That means it loses most of the leaves in wintertime. As we're going through and watching this video, remember to look for abiotic and biotic factors and think of any interactions that would be happening in a forest ecosystem.
In a forest ecosystem, abiotic factors include soil, sunlight, and water. For biotic factors, I see a lot of trees, flowers, fungus, even worms and bugs. For interactions, you can see competition with all the trees trying to get sunlight, mutualism with the lichen on the log, which is actually fungus and algae working together, and commensalism with the vine using a tree for support.
So now we're at our last ecosystem for today, the tall grass prairie here at Buffalo Trace. Now, you might be wondering why this is called a tall grass prairie, but prairie grasses are just growing right now, so they're starting pretty short. As we go through this video, we're going to look for those abiotic and biotic factors, plus look for any interactions that you can think of that would happen in a tall grass prairie.
Out on the prairie, abiotic factors include sunlight, soil, and a lot of wind. Biotic factors are grass like the big blue stem, birds, bugs, and a lot of plants and flowers like bee balm. Examples of interactions include competition, where all the plants are trying to get limited water, commensalism, like a bird nest in a shrub, or Parasitism, like this goldenrod gall, where an insect lays its egg in the stem of a plant.
Great job observing those ecosystems. Now I want you to observe what's around you. Can you find the abiotic and biotic factors in your yard? Do you notice any interactions happening, maybe at the park? Look at what's around you and put these definitions in. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your spring.